For my first major project of the year, I wanted to upgrade the fire pit situation we have in our backyard. It's a really great space and it gets used pretty frequently, but because of that, you can see that a lot of the grass surrounding the fire pit has died, leaving behind dirt which turns into mud. It tends to be pretty messy and then the chairs sink into the ground. So I want to surround the fire pit with some pea gravel to make the area a little more solid and less messy. I think it will look a lot nicer in the end as well. My parents came over to help me with this project, which I really appreciate. I think they also just like doing house and yard projects. As far back as I can remember, my parents have always been doing some kind of gardening, yard, or house project pretty much non-stop. First, we'll have to clear the area around the pit. I made this little stone table out of leftover bricks I found in the yard when I moved in. I think the contractors that renovated my house just left a bunch of old building materials in the ground when they finished. Then we're going to cut back the grass as close to the ground as possible and then just blow it away. Now, to mark out the circle around the fire pit that the rocks are going to be in, we measured out a string and tied one end to a garden post and the other end to a shovel. Now I'm just gonna go around the pit with the string pulled tight and mark the ground. Also, you can see my mom in the background cutting down some branches. Trimming trees is like her favorite thing to do. My neighbor's yard has a bunch of trees right along the fence, and the branches that grow over my yard block out a lot of the sun. So I wanted to clear out some of those branches to try to give my backyard garden a little more sunlight. Now that the circle has been marked out along the ground, I'm going to dig a small trench along it for the plastic liner to go in. Here's the circle trench all dug out. And here's what it would look like if you were in an X-wing flying towards an air vent. The next step is to half bury the plastic liner in the trench and then use some of the dirt we dug up to wedge it in there. We're going to rake the ground a little bit to try and evenly distribute some of the leftover dirt, and we forgot to get a ground pounder thing, so I'm just using a big brick, which works just as well. The next step is to lay out the fabric weed barrier. We want to make sure it overlaps enough so grass won't be able to get through it, and as we cut it and lay it out, we'll pour some of the pea gravel on it to hold it down. Now I'm going to cut the extra fabric from around the circle and then rake the rocks a little bit to try and even them out. Raking rocks like this was kind of fun, so maybe we'll make a Zen garden next. And here's what the finished product looks like. I'm really happy with how it turned out. The chairs feel a lot more solid in here as well. So now we're gonna fire up the pit and test it out.